Hey guys, Pete here. I'm feeling hyped up now that we're getting close. We're only a month out from the season 5 premiere of The Expanse. And so today I wanted to talk about Marco Inaros and his group, the Free Navy. They're starting to do some press for the new season. We saw the trailer. He featured heavily in that. We got an interview with the showrunner, which I'll talk about a bit. He comes up in that. We saw some new photos and a new poster. He's all over the place. And let's be honest, it was already pretty obvious based on what happened at the end of season 4 that he was set up to be the big bad. When I was working on each of my season 4 videos, I kept wanting to dive deeper with him and Naomi, based on what we know from the books up to where we're at in the story, and the breadcrumbs the show has been leaving on the way to introducing him at the end of season 4. In a non-spoiler way, Marco's the right guy who finds himself in the right situation. He's about to come out of the shadows, and his connection to Naomi means the Rossi and its crew are going to get dragged into it. So I'll give you a spoiler warning. I'm going to talk about everything that's happened in the show, The Expanse, through the first 4 seasons. I'm going to include some details from the books, but I won't give any future spoilers past what we've seen on screen. I'm also going to be talking about the season 5 trailer because it focuses mostly on him. So if any of that sounds spoilery to you, now's your chance to leave. But just please hit the subscribe button on your way out and then come back when the season airs because I'll be doing weekly Expanse videos throughout the season. As far as the crew of the Rocinante, Naomi Nagata is the connection to the belt. She's the only crew member that was born there, which means she uniquely understands the difficulties that Belters face. And while it's always been hinted that she had some secrets in her past, we didn't get the whole story until season 4. It turns out that her ex-partner, Marco, who she had a child with, showed up to cause problems for the UN and Mars, Avasarala in particular with her election, but then also Fred Johnson's faction of the OPA. That all started with a colony ship from Earth called the Sojourner. It was stuck at the ring gate, it couldn't pass through, and Marco took it over, killed everyone on board, and then lied about selling it for parts. If we think of the Belters as a whole, Fred Johnson and his faction of the OPA is on one side of the spectrum. They're willing to work with the inner planets and have formed an alliance to help control passage through the ring gates. The Free Navy then would be on the opposite side of the spectrum. They're basically an insurgency. Fred refers to them as OPA extremists. We'll learn more about what their goals are in season 5, but we get a general idea in his conversation with Ashford when they first caught him. They don't believe that the inner planets can be trusted, they think the belt should control the belt, and he hinted at some kind of support from Mars in the way of ships and weapons. One of the things about the OPA is there's always been multiple factions that get along with each other to various degrees. This has always worked to the UN and Mars's advantage. With them not being united under one idea or one central government, it's easier for them to get what they want. And they can pit the different groups against each other. That's what Fred Johnson's vision was. He was trying to bring them together so they could have a collective power. But as you can imagine, not everyone across the different groups are all on board for the alliance. The other thing that happened at the end of season 3 was that the ring gates opened. All these other new habitable systems were available. This gave some Belters the idea that they could move on to a different system and start a new life on a planet. And we saw this with the Barbacola and Illis. But we also saw that the UN and Mars are trying to stop people from going through the rings. So it's only natural that there would be a struggle for power, and so everyone who's skeptical of Fred's plan, Marco has an opportunity to win them over to his side. We saw that he was charismatic. His message was enough to talk his way out of being spaced whenever all the different factions came together to judge him. We saw that he may also have some strategic prowess as well. He used the Sojourner, he turned that into the Sign-On, and he sent that towards Earth to get a better idea of what their planetary defenses were. This also turned out to be negative press for Avasarala, who had to blow it up. Nancy Gao was able to use that to campaign against her. So he found the opportunity. Things worked out so that he could use the tension around the ring gates to his advantage. We've seen that he is grooming his son Filip to be a big part of the Free Navy as well. He was able to go to Mars and bring back the stealth technology, and we saw at the end what their plan with that is. When asked about these rocks that we saw being flung towards Earth, showrunner Naren Shankar said, "Well, it's coming. It's coated in stealth, so it's very hard to see, and there's a whole bunch of them." From the end of season 4, the last image that we left with was Marco looking at the plotted trajectory of all these asteroids. The The last image that you see is a whole lot of them that are lined up to hit the Earth in its orbit. So they're coming. From there, the Entertainment Weekly interviewer shifted to Naomi. He said, "What's Naomi's mission here? We see a little bit in the trailer with Marco and her son. What is she going to look to do here in season 5? In response, he talks about her calling Fred at the end of season 4. She says she really needs to find her son because she's afraid that his father's going to get him killed. It's that she understands, or she's seeing that Marco is on the rise and she knows the kind of person that he is. After years of feeling like, I can't reconnect, I abandoned him, I left my kid, she's determined to reach out to him and try to save him from somebody that she thinks is a really terrible person." So we know that Naomi will be going off to try to do that. And through her conversation with Lucia, we got an idea of how Marco and Naomi's relationship played out. The two of them met when she was still a teenager. They fell in love and he was connected with an OPA faction, not the Free Navy yet, but a group that was definitely radical. They hated the inner planets. Naomi's background was that she grew up poor. Her parents died. She was self-educated. She earned multiple advanced degrees. And when we met her, she was working as the chief engineer on the Canterbury. So in some ways, she is a success story as far as Belters go. But we also knew that there was something in her past that she was hiding, and Marco and Filip were it. When she met him, she was drawn in by his charisma. He's the kind of guy that people follow, even at a young age. That was clear. We could see how someone with her background might be drawn to that. They had Filip, and they had a somewhat loving family in the beginning. Things went wrong when Marco put a plan in action to destroy the transport, the Agustin Gamarra. We learned in season 4 that he essentially tricked her into writing code for him, telling her the plan was just to disable ships so that they could go in and save them for a reward, but then he used it on this transport and killed a lot of people. She felt guilty and responsible, and then she slipped into a depression. Marco decided to hide Filip away to control her, to stop her from telling about what happened, keep her silence, and basically act right according to what he wanted. This led to a suicide attempt, trying to do anything to get away from Marco and his manipulations. In the end, she decided she had no choice but to leave her son behind. She left him with Marco, and of course she feels remorseful about this. It's something that she carries with her, and we see that she's finally ready to go back and try to make it right. We don't know much more about Filip at this point, other than he's part of his father's Free Navy. He was there to stop Ashford when he came to kill Marco. We saw that he was present and involved in taking the stealth technology from Mars, which means he is complicit in this asteroid attack that Marco has set up. And that certainly has the potential to make things difficult for Naomi. In the trailer and in the new photos, we see a lot of Marco and Filip. And as I mentioned, at the end of season 4, we saw that Naomi is going to look for him. So now you know the background of all these characters, what the Free Navy is. In season 5, we'll find out if their attack is successful, what it means for the Free Navy, what that means for the Belt, what this mysterious connection with Mars that he was talking about is, and how all this is going to affect this gold rush that Avasarala was trying to prevent, that Mars was trying to prevent to keep themselves relevant, how that's all going to play out. I said in the beginning that Marco is the right guy that finds himself in the right situation. Prior to the ring gates opening, his extreme views were moving to the fringes of Belter society. We saw Ashford bring this up when he tried to turn the ex-pirate over to his way of thinking. In that exchange, Ashford recognized the appeal of the message. And while he wasn't persuaded, it was enough that he went after Marco to try to kill him after the events of Sinon and the Pazuzu. He realizes this might be a guy who can get Belters to follow him. We can see the things that the Free Navy have pulled off are strategic. They're not just committing random acts of violence and terrorism. They influence the situation on Earth. We saw Drummer resign from her post in the Belt, and all the while, the Sol system is on the brink of a big change as colony ships are preparing to spread humanity to all these new systems. Now that Avasarala lost the election to Nancy Gao, the ring gates are going to be open for business. If nothing else, Marco's acts foreshadow the fact that he's planning things out. And while you aren't likely to agree with his methods, he is using legitimate grievances that the Belters have to get them to rally behind him. He's a love-to-hate-him kind of character, and as a book reader, I have to say I can't wait to see how they adapt his story. And with that, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know if you have any questions about the Free Navy, Marco, Filip, or Naomi in the comments. If it's been a while since you've seen season 4, watch my other videos. I went through all the different things that happened, and that'll get you up to speed and get you ready for season 5. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my channel if you're a fan of The Expanse. Since they decided to release 3 episodes the first week and then do weekly releases throughout the rest of the season, that means I'll be covering it week to week, and I'll be doing other videos just like this one in the lead up until it comes out. So I hope you'll follow along with me as we go through the season. And with that, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.